All right, let's see if we can't talk you through the actual ATF application process. I went to acepyro.com/ATF, and it will bring you to this page. And this is what I use to obtain my license. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process and go through the whole application just as I did it, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding and be able to get your license as well. Getting to know your ATF license, or guide to getting your ATF license. If you are reading this, it's probably because you would like to know what it takes to buy and use commercial fireworks in a future display. The process to legally obtaining and use these fireworks is actually rather straightforward. The basic requirements: have ATF license to purchase commercial fireworks, pick up fireworks just before you use them, or have storage meeting the ATF regulations for the fireworks. Any fireworks that are left over from a display either need to be used, destroyed, or returned to storage. Although not a specific regulatory requirement, you need to get training to keep yourself and your audience safe. This is true. You do not need a safety course to get your license. Basically, just fill out the forms and send them in per the guidelines, and that should be it. Okay. Let's get started. Fingerprints. The first process is to request fingerprint cards from the ATF. This is done by going to the following address. If you click on this link, it will take you to the ATF page, and you will be on this form page. You just fill in your name, your email address, your phone number, and your mailing address. The next part to do is you want the fingerprint cards. Enter quantity of 1, and then there's going to be 3 choices in here. The reason why you want those fingerprint cards is for explosives applications. All right. Then you'll click the preview button. That will bring you up to the distribution center's order form review page. Please review your submission. Your submission is not complete until you press the submit button. So just make sure that your name is correct, your email address is correct, all information is correct. Fingerprints, and then click submit. Okay. Once you do that, it'll take about a week, and you should get your fingerprint cards in the mail. Okay. And this just gives you directions right here about filling it out. And it says once your fingerprint card arrives in the mail, you need to contact your local police department. I suggest that you call them a non-emergency number and ask if they will complete the fingerprint card. Often they have limited staff and hours, or might not do it at all. Or they may do this for free, but few departments charge a fee. I had a hard time. I tried calling local police departments, and nobody fingerprinted the public. So I got frustrated. I tried going to a larger city like Ann Arbor, figuring they'll do it. Well, no, they don't. A lot of departments will use a third party for fingerprinting. But what I did do finally was ask somebody there in Ann Arbor, one of the police departments, and where the heck can I get it done? And they suggested that I try the sheriff's department. So when I tried my local sheriff's department, I hit pay dirt. They actually did it. They were restrictive on the times, but I just went in when they opened, when the person was there, gave them the fingerprint cards. They checked my license, filled out the information, fingerprinted me, filled out the form, and I was good to go. After you get that, the next thing is to get a passport photo. Now that your fingerprint card is on the way, you need to obtain a 2x2 photo. A passport photo will do, and these can be obtained from any drugstore chain such as CVS, Walgreens, or office supply stores, and even AAA. You can also print your own photo, but make sure it's high quality and meets passport standards. This link here will take you to what they accept and will not accept in passport photos, in case you wanted to do it for yourself. I paid $15 and I went to CVS for mine. They already know the guidelines. They took my picture and I got 2 photos, crystal clear, 2 inches by 2 inches already. The next thing is the application. If you click here, it takes you to the ATF website. All right, we'll click on it. And it brings up the actual form that I used to get my license. I downloaded and printed this form. All right. The next part is, here's an example application already completed. And this is Ace Pyro's, directions in filling it out, but we'll go over this application so you get a better understanding of it. So this is nothing more than the same exact application, and it's filled out. And this is actually what I use to get my license. Name of applicant. All right, you put your name here. Trade name or business name. If you have a business name, it will go here. If you don't, you're like me, sole proprietor, there will be none. Okay. Another note is, please print all information in block letters, so no cursive writing. Employer identification number. If you don't have one, then it's going to be your social security number, and that will go here. Name of the county in which the business is located, which is going to be your residence. So you just put the county that you live in. Premise address. Well, you just put your house address there, wherever you're gonna have everything taken care of. Mailing address, and if address is different than 5A. Some people may have an office where they'll be keeping all their paperwork for it. If that's the case, that's what goes here. But if not, then I just said same as 5A, because everything's my office and everything is in my house. Okay. Number 6, if no street address listed in item 5A, provide directions and distance from nearest post office or city limits. Really? Yeah, Chief, go to the green barn and turn left. It's out in the field. I have no clue why they have there. I just put NA. Telephone number. So anything that applies here, whether it's a business number or your residence number. Mine just happened to be my cell phone number. That's all I had. And then I entered my email address. Okay. Number 8, are you presently engaged in a business and or operations for which a license or permit is required under Chapter 40 explosives? Chances are no. That's why you're filling this out. All right. If it did happen to be yes, you would click this and then put the date. Is or will your business and or operations be, most likely it's going to be individually owned. For me, it was individually owned myself. If you're going into partners for somebody, that would apply. If you have a corporation, whatever the case may be. Method of payment. Most people send a check. All right. I didn't do that. I checked MasterCard, put my card numbers in here, printed the name as it was on the card, the expiration date. The address is actually the address to where your statement goes, which in my case was the same as my house address. So that's what went in here. I am paying for the application fee for the following person, corporation, or partnership. I put my name here. Total application fees for me was $100. We get that information on the third page of the application, but it's $100. Okay. I authorize the ATF to charge my credit debit card to the above amount. And I just signed it and dated it. Okay. Second page. Responsible persons list. Provide information for each individual owner, partner, and all other responsible persons in the trade or business operations identified in Section A, Block 2. Okay. For me, it's by myself. So my name went here as it appears on my license. I'm the owner, my social security number, my house address, my telephone number, my date of birth, place of birth. I just put Detroit, Michigan, USA. Country or countries of citizenship, USA. I'm a male. I don't know why they have Hispanic or Latino separated. I mean, my God, they got everybody else over here. But anyways, no, and I am white. If you have a partner, they would go in here. If you're going to have people help you handle the explosives and be able to get in and out of the magazines, you're going to need to put them people here. Okay? But most of the time, it's yourself. All right? Next page. Application is made for explosive license or permit under Chapter 40, as in, and it says, see the definitions. Explosive license. This is for manufacturing. Okay? We're not making them. This is for importing. We're not doing that, and we're not dealing. So over here, explosives permit. Bingo, fireworks. This is what we're after. And here's the fee that I told you about, $100. All right, that's where that figure came from. It's good for 3 years, and your renewal fee will be $50. All right. You could, if you wanted, to go to these areas, but I see no reason. With this license up here, the $100 license, you can buy as many times as you want in a year, 3 years. There's no limit. If you get one of these two, the limited permit or the user permit, you're going to get tickets that I believe are only 6 per year. And it's a hassle. And then you have to get it every year. So, I don't understand why anybody would want one of those. The top one, the fireworks, for the $100 is the one to go. And then you would list your total fees here. Is a state or a local license or permit required for explosive business and or operations? For me, I live in Michigan. No, we don't have any of that. However, Michigan is one of the very few states that does not require other permits or other licenses. Most of the states do. So you're going to have to check with your state, and you're going to have to check with your local municipalities if they require you to have a special license. I guess one way to explain it is some of the states have fireworks license, similar to like Michigan has a builder's license for contractors. So you have to check with your state and local municipalities, and if that's the case, you would put that information in there. All right, now questions 14 and 15 are very similar. Is the applicant or any person named in item 11, which is that list where you filled out for the people? You must answer yes or no in a box. So, in other words, is the applicant a fugitive from justice? Is the applicant an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, or narcotic drug or any other controlled substance? Is the applicant under indictment or information in any court for a felony or any crime for which the judge could imprison that person for more than 1 year? Is the applicant an alien in the United States? Okay. Is the applicant presently appealing a conviction of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year? Number 15, has the applicant or any person named in 11 ever been convicted in any court of a felony other than the crime for which a judge could imprison that person for more than 1 year, even if he and she received a shorter sentence, including probation? So in other words, a felony. Okay. Has the applicant been adjudicated mentally defective? Well, my friends say that about me, but whatever. Committed to a mental institution. Has the applicant been discharged from the armed forces under dishonorable conditions? Or has the applicant renounced his or her United States citizenship? Well, everything for me was no. Okay? If you answer yes to any of them, chances are you will not get your license. Okay? It is not impossible to get your license with a yes answer, but it will delay it, and there will be far more investigation going on to determine whether or not you can meet the required criteria for the explosives laws. Section B, hours of operation. Now, when I filled this out, I work during the day, Monday through Friday, so basically I put hours that I'm home. So like 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock every day, and then 9 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Had I known back then what I know now, I would have done it exactly like Ace Pyro has it on his form. I would have put closed every day and just a few hours on one of the weekend days. Reason being is if they do surprise visits, they're going to come during those hours that you have listed. So the more you have there, the more available they are to do it. I should be somewhat safe, though, because they're going to basically be 9 to 5 people. They don't work weekends, all right? But, they still have that capability and can come during those times. Most of the time, they're going to call you up and prearrange a meeting that's compatible with both people. And I think within the last 30 days of the third year, if they haven't contacted you, you have to contact them and let them know that your license is about to expire and you need to go through that process where they come out and interview you again and check all your paperwork and see that you're actually following all the laws so that you can get renewed. Okay. Applicant's business and or operation is located. Mine is a residence, so that's what I checked. Applicant's business and or operations premises are owned. I own a home. And then, does the user permit applicant intend to transport explosive materials in interstate or foreign commerce? Yes. All right, USA. Excuse me. Does user permit applicant intend to purchase explosive materials in interstate and foreign commerce? Yes. Again, USA. So the first one is transportation, and the second part is purchasing. So you answer yes to that with USA, now you can buy in other states other than your own and you can transport it. Under the personal license, as long as it's for personal use, you can buy and transport it yourself, no problem, in your vehicle. Anybody that I purchased from had my license right on my receipt, my pickup ticket, my acquisition paperwork. So if you get stopped, your license information is on there. If you get stopped by the cops and you're showing the paperwork, and you should be fine. Now, if you're hiring people and doing professional solos, that's a whole different ballgame. Now you're going to probably have to have, hazard paperwork. You're going to have to be qualified for the hazard, and I believe a CDL or a chauffeur's license, something to that effect. That allows you to transport. So it's a whole different ball game if you're accepting money and you're employing people. Do you deal in black powder? Do you have a federal firearms license? No, I did not. But if you did, you would collect. If you did, you would check yes and then put that information there. Storage facility. All right. It shall be unlawful for any person to store any explosive material in a manner not in conformity with the regulations promulgated by the Attorney General before applying for a license or permit. The applicant must read and be familiar with the requirements as set forth in Subpart K storage. That's going to be in your green book, all right, telling you about how to store the fireworks. All of the applicant's storage facilities listed on the attached explosive storage magazine description sheet and meet the minimum requirements as set forth in Subpart K storage. That's going to be checked yes, because no matter where you're buying it from, they're going to have it at ATF approved storage. All right. You're going to end up most likely doing contingency storage, and their magazine will be approved, so that's going to be yes. Number of magazines, since you don't have one, you're doing contingency storage is going to be 0. And right here it just says if the applicant has no storage facilities, provide contingency plan for unexpected surplus explosive materials by completing explosive storage magazine worksheet, which is coming up. Okay. From there, it's just telling you that you're certified that I'm familiar with all the published state laws and local ordinances relating to explosive materials for the location for which I intend to do business. In addition, if the application is for a limited permit, I certify that I will not receive explosive more than 6 separate occasions during a 12-month period. That's those other 2 categories that I said don't do, all right? Because that's all you can do is six purchases in 12 months. Applicant signature. Title is ownership, and then the date, and then this is for the ATF to figure out. All right, now here's the explosive storage magazine worksheet. If you're doing contingency storage, it's very simple, exactly as they have it on the form. Your name. There is no magazine ID number. There's no state explosive magazine certificate number. There's no storage magazine address. All this information does not need to be filled out, and you will skip down to the bottom of the form to J. magazine is owned, borrowed, leased, rented, contingency plan. That's what you want. All right. If you have no storage, contingency. And all that means is the place that you're buying from is going to hold the fireworks till the day that you pick them up. And you have basically 24 hours to deal with it. So you're really picking it up the day of your show and lighting them off. After that period's up, you need to have any product that's left over back into contingency. All right? Or destroy it or whatever. But usually, like in this particular case, I did contingency plan. I listed Ace Pyro as my contingency and their address in here. And then I just signed it and put owner and then dated it. All right. So when I sent in that application, that's when I put in. And when the ATF agents called me to set up my interview, they said, I see you're doing contingency storage with Ace Pyro. And I said, yes. And they says, well, we need a letter verifying that. So I got a hold of Ace Pyro and I told them about it. And, within a day or so, I got this letter in the mail. And it just says, Dear Philip, as we discussed, in case of poor weather conditions or other events beyond our control that prevent you from firing your display, I will provide you with contingent storage of fireworks in my magazine. You will be allowed to store your fireworks for up to 375 days. And then it listed as magazine numbers. And I just, scribbled out my name and address and then the numbers on there. But that's basically what the storage letter is. When they called for the interview, I also let them know that I came across information about job boxes being turned into indoor magazines. And that I, in fact, had one. And I wanted to have one inspected for authorization. So they said, no problem. They said, just fill out the storage magazine again and with all the pertinent information and send it to us. So they gave me the email address and I just filled it out, scanned it, and then send them a PDF of the information that they requested. When they came out and interviewed, they actually looked at the magazine and actually approved it right there on site. And the only thing I did was buy the proper locks for it and paint the inside of it with Flex Seal, a rubber paint, a non-sparking material. But if you do have a magazine, I'm going to walk you through this so that you know how to fill out the form. Again, your name would go up here. Magazine ID number you will not have because the ATF has to inspect first and give you one. State and local explosives magazine certificate number, if any. Some states will inspect your magazine prior to the ATF, and if they certify it, will give you that number, and that will go here. The storage magazine address is wherever the storage magazine is. In my case, it was at my residence, so my address is here. All right. Type of magazine: permanent, mobile, portable, indoor, outdoor, building, blah, 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 blah. Mine's an indoor magazine, so I circled indoor. And check the ATF. Now, these are all different types of magazines: a type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, okay? And the ATF book explains which ones are which. For low explosives, it's a type 4. So I click type 4. Location of magazine and distance from licensed place of business and or other magazines. All right. So I ended up going to Trimble SketchUp, it's called. It used to be called Google SketchUp. It's a free 3D drawing CAD program. And I downloaded a free copy of that. In that program, you can download satellite views. So I entered in my address and downloaded a satellite view right into that CAD program from Google Maps or Google Earth, whatever it was. And a nice thing about that is once it's in the CAD program, it knows distances. So you can, instead of running around the yard, I'm on 12 acres, so my God, that's a lot of measuring. Well, that's how I measured where my buildings were. I used that program and then used the ruler in the program to find my distances. But at any rate, back to this. Location of magazine and distance is others. On an indoor magazine, there is no table of distances that you have to be, but they want to know the location, so you will put that distance here. In my case, it was 100 feet from the house, so I entered in 100 feet. Distance to nearest storage magazine, regardless of ownership. There isn't any in the area, so I put N/A for not applicable. Describe terrain features, roads, structures, buildings, utilities, etc. that could be damaged if the contents of the magazine would have exploded. In my case, I have a barn and a shed, so that's what I listed. Distances between the magazine and these features. Indicate if the magazine is barricaded or unbarricaded. Mine was unbarricaded. Show the distance in feet to closest highway. I believe I was like 360 feet or whatever to the closest road, which was a side street. Closest inhabited building, which is the house, which was 100 feet. Closest passenger railway, there isn't one here, so that was N/A. Materials, including the thickness used in the construction of the magazine. Well, mine's a rigid job box. I bought it right from Home Depot. So I went to the website and I found a detailed spec sheet on it. And in my particular case, the roof, doors, top, floor, walls, bottom were all the same metal, all the same gauge thicknesses. I do not remember what the gauge was, but it was all the same. And let's just say, for example, it was 18 gauge. That's what I put in all these areas. Security, physical safeguards, safety equipment, and anti-theft measures. When I put it in the shed, I put long rods through the feet, and then I bolted those down to the floor. So I put rods through the feet, bolted to the floor. Master lock number 17 is what I purchased for it, all right, for the padlocks. Number 2 under locks, mine was a padlock, so that's what got checked. If the padlocks, they want to know the shackle diameter. Mine was 7/16. Number of tumblers, the minimum requirement is 5. All right, and that's what this lock happened to be. The shackle diameter, the minimum that the ATF will approve is 3/8, and mine happened to be a little thicker, 7/16. Steel hoods, yes, because when I closed the lid, it's a steel lid, and it was case hardened. Okay, dimensions and capacity of the magazine, capacity in pounds or number of detonators. I listed 50 pounds because that's what the weight limit is according to the ATF book, 50 pounds of pyro weight. My height was 2 foot, my length was 4 foot, and my width was 2 foot. Explosives to be stored in quantity or weight. Class, all right? Here's where I put 50 pounds, and it's low explosives. That's what your fireworks are considered as low explosives. High explosives are like dynamite or something of that nature, which I believe is 1.1 category, and you're actually going for 1.3. Okay. In my case, the magazine was owned. I purchased it outright. So when it comes down to the owner of the magazine, I put down my name here, the address where the magazine was at, and then names and telephone persons of people who can open the magazine for you. That is going to be whoever was listed up here. All right, so if you have more than one person can be down on that part of the form. For myself, it was just myself, so I put my name and telephone number on here. Special conditions such as difficulty accessing in the winter, etc. For me, there's nothing. So it's not like it's on a steep hill and you can't get to it when it snows. So I just put none. And again, a plot plan must be furnished, not necessarily a scale, which will indicate at a minimum all buildings on the premises and to all magazines identified with distances between the magazines as well as the distances between magazines and inhabited buildings, public ways, and everything. So in that program I was telling you about, Trimble SketchUp, this is the drawing that I did. Okay, this is a side street, and I put the name of the street here, the main road that it comes out onto. And these dimensions I basically have off of the survey of the property. And this is everything in green's about 12 acres. From there, I used the program to find out the distances from the road to the magazine. That ended up being 354 feet. Okay. From the house to the magazine was 100 foot. I have a storage barn here and a storage barn here. So this is the only thing that I submitted, a copy of this. I scanned it, and just like I scanned in at the magazine sheet, and I emailed it to them. So they had that information when they came. When you get all your paperwork filled out and everything's taken care of, your application, I stapled all my copies, all my paperwork to it, my drawing and all the pages that I filled out, and I stapled them all together so they wouldn't be lost. Then I took my 2x2 photo, just like that, and taped it with clear cellophane tape on there. Okay. Once I did that, I actually took my fingerprint card and put it on there, and I used a paper clip, just so that when they received it, they could easily get the paper clip off and have this without the staple potentially tearing the fingerprint card. When you send it off, the last 2 pages that you download on the application will have instructions for you and definitions to help you understand everything. And this gets sent off right here to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives in Atlanta, Georgia. I sent mine off, like I said, February 6th, and I think on the statement, February 10th on my credit card, they took their $100. And from there, you know, whatever process they did down in Atlanta, Georgia, and then it made its way to Detroit, where the agents called me on the 26th. So all in all, that's it. That's the whole application process. That's everything. So if you go to acepyro.com and you follow everything that's on here, I don't see any reason why you cannot get your license. Like I said, I had a hard time finding out anybody who explained the process. I did a short video earlier explaining, how I went about everything, and I posted a link on there to Ace Pyro. And I decided to do a follow-up video actually walking you through the application as I did it. So hopefully other people will see it and be successful in getting their application. If anybody has any questions, or comments that they want to make, go ahead and post it there on the YouTube channel, and I will do my best to get back to you and answer any questions you may have. I hope this helps. Have a great day. Thank you.